This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the B Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at bpodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply. I am Danielle Nuhfer, an educator for over 20 years who went up against 2 bouts of serious teacher burnout before finally realizing that I needed to share what worked and what didn't with educators everywhere. This is when Teaching Well was born. At Teaching Well, I partner with schools who recognize that when teacher well-being is prioritized, true teaching and learning can happen. And there's nothing more integral to building this kind of school culture than finding ways to care for yourself in the midst of all the school day hustle and bustle. Building in these moments is what this show is all about and what I hope to bring to you each time I get the opportunity to speak with you here. So with that, let's begin. Today's morning motivation is about what weeds can teach us about teacher well-being. I have a friend and neighbor who is also a teacher who messaged me this week and said, "I think our clover is feeding all of your bees. It's out of control." When I mentioned this to my partner, he said he thought ours was coming back with a vengeance too. Although it's a perfect source of nectar and pollen, clover is often seen as a nuisance or a less than perfect plant that comes and infiltrates perfectly manicured lawns. In some cases, it's dug up, mowed over, and cursed throughout the summer months. But here were my neighbor and my partner talking about how this year's clover is really flourishing, even though it's always trying to be eradicated. So what can we as teachers learn about this weed that continues to persevere in spite of or because of the adversity that surrounds it? One thing we can learn is that sometimes the things, people, plants, animals, aren't always appreciated for what they contribute or what they bring to the ecosystem. Just like clover, so much of what we added to the ecosystem was not ever fully appreciated. Another thing we can learn from clover is how to have resilience and tenacity year after year without burning out. Remember, nature doesn't make mistakes. Our clover patches showed up ever more prevalent this year, and there will be a reason for that, even if we don't know what it is yet. Teacher burnout doesn't need to be a part of the natural cycle of a teacher's life. Just like the clover comes back year after year, often better than ever. That doesn't mean we need to be stomped on and abused and we keep coming back for more. Instead, we know where we are needed, we enlist the support of our community, and we do the job that needs to be done while still being able to do our job well. You see, the clover that sprouts up year after year are the ones that stay healthy during the off season. They're the ones whose needs and conditions are met so they can do the job they were hired to do. Just like the clover is back for the bees, we can be back for the students. Just like the clover is back as a team in all the yards all around our homes, we need to make our voices heard and our needs met as we move into this reimagining of schools. Just like the clover, our contribution to the school ecosystem must be acknowledged and understood in order to be appreciated. It's our job to first rest during this first part of summer, and then, like the clover, emerge with our tasks firmly known, making sure that we get what we need while we are expected to perform our jobs under difficult circumstances. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What is a weed? A plant whose virtues have not yet been discovered." We are at a turning point in our school systems where our virtues are needed more than ever. It is imperative that we get to a place at the table for how we move forward, because the initiatives don't really have student best practices in mind if teachers aren't fully able to fulfill their obligations. So persevere like the clover field. Get the people empowered to notice the benefit to your own ecosystem and redefine the expectations of your job by coming together with other stakeholders. This will help us prevent teacher burnout, for when the true value and true virtue of our job is recognized, every system will flourish. So keep this motivation close to your heart today. May you rediscover, value, and celebrate the work you do, even when others don't fully understand or appreciate. If this morning's motivation resonated with you, I'd love to connect more. You can find all the different ways we can partner together at teachingwell.life. Thanks for listening. In whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.